Check 1 2 1 2 audio check. Hey, 1 2 1 2 audio check 1 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduation ceremony of the Caribbean Maritime University is about to begin. We're inviting you to take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 graduation ceremony for the Caribbean Maritime University is about to begin. Please turn off your mobile phones and other devices. Now, the CMU has official photographers for the event, and no one is allowed to approach the presentation area to take photographs. Please note that the exits are located at the rear of the room and at both sides of the stage area. A round of applause, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2025 of the Caribbean Maritime University, you may be seated. Please welcome the academic procession. And now, please welcome the Chairman's Procession. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the procession of flags and remain standing for the national anthem. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Please welcome Professor the Honorable Gordon Shirley, to be followed by, with the President's address, President Professor Andrew Spencer.
Good morning, honored guests, esteemed faculty, proud parents, and most importantly, the class of 2025. It is my distinct honor to welcome you all to the Caribbean Maritime University's annual graduation ceremony. We are gathered here today in order to mark by public ceremony the academic achievement of certain members of the Caribbean Maritime University. We are an academic community of undergraduate, masters, and holders of diplomas and certificates. We are dedicated to redefining maritime excellence through innovation and technology. We pursue knowledge and encourage learning. It is therefore appropriate that as a body, we should celebrate the achievements of our graduating class of 2025, and we rejoice with them in their achievements. I now invite the President to make his address.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I wish to extend welcome to His Excellency High Commissioner to Canada, Mr. Mark Berman, His Excellency Ambassador Roland E. Barrow, Ambassador of the Republic of Panama, Her Excellency Ambassador Emiliana Bernard Stevenson, Ambassador of the Republic of Colombia, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Dwight Gardiner, OBE, Ambassador at Large, Director and Registrar General, Antigua and Barbuda Department of Marine Services and Merchant Shipping, Mr. Eric Sogosio, Charge of the Affairs, Embassy of the Federal Republic of Brazil, Mr. Rolando Davila Gallardo, Political and Economic Affairs Officer, Embassy of the Republic of Cuba, Professor the Honorable Gordon Shirley, OJ, Chairman of the Council of the Caribbean Maritime University, other members of the Council. Those I see now right before me are Rear Admiral Peter Brady and Miss Uname Gordon, senior leadership and staff of the Caribbean Maritime University, Dr. Tamika Benjamin, Assistant Chief Education Officer for the Tertiary Branch of the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Mr. Bertrand Smith, Director General of the Maritime Authority of Jamaica, Mrs. Claudia Grant, Deputy Director General, Maritime Authority of Jamaica, other senior officials of the Maritime Authority of Jamaica, but I wish to recognize Mr. Seymour Harley, Registrar, Brigadier Retired Raj Mason, ODJP, Commissioner of Corrections, Ms. Joyce Stone, ODJP, Deputy Commissioner of Corrections, other members of the leadership of the Department of Correctional Services, Lieutenant Colonel Martin Rickman, Chief Executive Officer of the German Ship Repair Jamaica Limited, honorary and ceremonial guest who is most important to us today, Mrs. Jennifer Nugent-Hill, honorary graduand and guest speaker, Mr. Donovan Wignall, President and Chief Executive Officer, Maritime International Logistics Limited, Mr. Owen Ellington, Managing Director, Jamaica Urban Transit Company, Mrs. Christine French-Brown, Scholarships Tertiary Unit, Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, representatives of the CPFSA and affiliated agencies, executive and members of the CMU Alumni Association, scholarship partners and donor representatives, other specially invited guests, graduands. Round of applause for the graduands. Family members, parents, guardians, and well-wishers, members of the media. Now I can take a breath. That was a mouthful. And Mr. Gordon chose this year to allow me to do this, and therefore they will give me back the time for my speech, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to first of all tender apologies for Senator the Honorable Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, who in a very heartfelt telephone conversation with me this morning indicated that she tried her very best to be here. But the challenge is that she is in the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. And this morning is post-cabinet press briefing, and therefore the information portfolio has her quite busy. But she says that if you are a fan of PBC Jamaica, you should watch. She will send you her congratulations at that press briefing this morning. 45 years ago, what began as a modest training institution has evolved into one of the most recognized maritime universities internationally, the Caribbean Maritime University. Ladies and gentlemen, that transformation did not just happen by chance. We don't play games of chance at this university. It was a choice to lead, a choice to innovate, a choice to be first, and a choice to become the very best. Over the years, our university has become an active architect of national development, a driver of innovation, and a bridge between academia and industry. We must give credit to the visionaries who came before us. They understood that being first required courage, and because of that courage, we now stand among the best. I believe you should applaud. You see, in our 45th year, we honor them not only for starting the journey, but for inspiring us to always pursue excellence in everything that we do. Because the best is certainly not the end of the journey. It is the evidence of mastery along the way. So in business, being the first to market might win you attention, but being the best in quality earns loyalty from your customers. In science, being first to publish may earn you recognition, but being best in research changes lives. In leadership, being first to speak may get you heard, but being best in service earns you trust. In track and field, being first this year with Eco Canada. I'm sure Ambassador Berman will be happy to hear that. We signed a memorandum of understanding with the International University of Logistics and Transport in Poland, expanding our global network and giving our students access to European opportunities in logistics under the Erasmus program. And we proudly signed, just a few months ago, another MOU with the Academy of Maritime and Training University in India, the second largest supplier of seafarers to the world. We have once again become the best by situating our campus very recently in the heart of industry at the Montego Bay Free Zone. We continue to demonstrate that we're best through our industry conference, which was very well received. The strength of these partnerships was powerfully displayed at our biennial industry academic conference, where the CMU stood as a hub of innovation, but most importantly, we had a representation from 5 continents demonstrating the commitment of our partners to supporting what we do. And to that, I want to resurrect a chant that we did last year and say, CMU powerful, CMU global. Say with me, CMU powerful, CMU global. The evidence of this quality is seen through our advancement of training and safety standards under the IMO by the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport out of the UK, through our ISO 9001-2015 certification, affirming our global standard of quality and continuous improvement. And I dare say, we were again the first to get this ISO designation as a tertiary institution. In October 2025, however, we were reminded that the same oceans which sustain life can also intensify destruction. As the ocean's warmth fueled Hurricane Melissa into a storm of historic intensity, those warm waters intensified the hurricane, but it was the human warmth that carried us through the aftermath. That same spirit of warmth and consideration is reflected here today. Our graduation ceremony was delayed not only by Melissa's impact, but by a collective decision rooted in compassion. Our graduating class chose to wait, to allow those whose lives were disrupted the time and space to recover, regroup, and rise again. Ladies and gentlemen, in doing so, the CMU family has demonstrated our excellence in that is not only measured by our achievement, but by our humanity. Speaking of excellence, please join me in acknowledging stars among us. And in a constellation of stars, those that shine brightest must be recognized. So at this moment, I'm going to invite our first class honorees to stand as I call your name. And I ask that you give them a rousing round of applause as they rise. From the Faculty of Marine and Nautical Studies, the Bachelor of Engineering in Marine Engineering, we have Dwayanique Campbell. Romaine Nicholas Marsh. Nicolette Thompson. And you will understand that many of our stars may be at sea from this particular faculty. Keep standing. The Bachelor of Science in Marine Transportation, Ajay Darion Lalu. Jade Alexia Diana Kalisa Levy. Dante Derek Singh. I hope the cameras are catching them, and I'll tell you why in short order. Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology, Bachelor of Engineering in Mechatronics, Aliyah Brittany Campbell. Kyle Anthony Aldan Pink. From the Faculty of Shipping and Logistics, Bachelor of Science in Custom Processes, Freight Forwarding and Immigration, Ornella Sasha Pete Ying Hall Koch. Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics, Danielle Elizabeth Edwards. Cleon Frankson. Barry Jo Nichelle Lawrence. Kimani Lascelles Levy. Bianca Brianna Walcott. Bachelor of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, Courtney Javar Daly. Jessica Kayan James. Hassana Lamont. Hasina Lamont. Not to be left out, or identical twins. Tian Matthews. Avante Montague. Alric Jr. Roden. Krista Lee Samoya Sorty. And from the Bachelor of Science in Security Administration and Management, Keon Floyd Bartley. Oral Elisha Heath. Ronil Anthony Jr. Sinclair. And Michael Bullock Webster. Now I'm going to ask somebody to identify themselves as the camera continues to focus on these stars. There was a young lady who met me yesterday and said to me, "Sir, I've worked very hard for my first class honors. My mom is not going to be here. She's far away and she will be watching. I wanted my moment on the stage for my name to be called with first class honors." Can she identify herself? There she is. And I'm going to ask the camera to zoom in on her. And if I'm following my good graduate here, she's Dion Matthews. So I'm calling her name now with first class honors so that wherever mom is, she can celebrate you from a distance. Thank you. You may be seated. These our scholars have made us exceptionally proud. Their scholarship, however, along with other graduands, may not have been possible without actual financial scholarships. And so we want to give a massive shout out to our biggest scholarship sponsor and donor, the American Caribbean Maritime Foundation. Give them a round of applause. And so as I close, graduates, the lesson I leave with you from this is simple. Power is neutral until purpose gives it direction. The same forces that can overwhelm can also be harnessed. What matters is intention. Be conscious of the direction you give your power. Let your decisions be guided by clarity, not convenience. Let responsibility come before recognition. Let purpose shape action, even when no one is watching. If you do that, your influence will not be destructive or fleeting. It will be constructive, trusted, and lasting. That is how power becomes excellent leadership. As the CMU has moved away from conversations about being first, because nobody can take that from us, we have moved into an era where we are unearthing our very best. Where our best becomes the standard for Jamaica. Where our best becomes the standard for the Caribbean. Where our best becomes the envy of the world. And so today I say, congratulations, class of 25. You have done it. You will continue to do it. You will be ambassadors of greatness. And we will all be here on the sidelines cheering for your enormous success. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. So this morning we will be presenting an honorary degree and also hearing from the recipient of that degree. I'm going to be inviting at this point forward the University Registrar, Ms. Keisha Walker, to address the gathering.
I now ask the public orator, Dr. Yvette Johnson, to present Mrs. Jennifer Nugent-Hill, whom the Academic Board and the University Council have been pleased to recommend for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, from the historic town of Spanish Town, once Spain, Jamaica, to the vibrant shores of the United States Virgin Islands, Jennifer Nugent-Hill has walked a path guided by purpose, courage, and faith. Her story is one of perseverance and grace, a life devoted to lifting others, advancing her region, and leading both with intellect and a lion heart forged in Jamaica. For 30 years, Mrs. Nugent-Hill has been a defining figure in the Caribbean's maritime and logistics landscape. As Senior Director of Government and Community Affairs at Tropical Shipping, she has helped shape how the region connects and collaborates. Her leadership has guided the company's policy direction, strengthened disaster preparedness across territories, and built meaningful partnerships that have stood the test of time. She has been a steady hand through challenge and change, always grounded in the belief that progress is most powerful when it serves people. Before her rise to corporate leadership, she answered a different kind of call, one of public service, and it might surprise you to note that she was appointed as a government official as Commissioner of Housing, Parks, and Recreation in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and she made history as she became the first and youngest woman to hold that office. Her time in government revealed a leader who believed deeply that progress must be inclusive and policies must translate into real change in people's lives. It was there that she learned what would become the cornerstone of her career. Leadership begins with service. At Tropical Shipping, she has carried that conviction into every part of her work. She co-founded the Corporate Mentorship Program designed to support the growth of high-potential employees and to foster future leaders. For Mrs. Nugent-Hill, mentorship is not an obligation, it is a calling. She often reflects on the mentors who said her name in rooms where women were not yet recognized. And in gratitude, she now does the same for others. Through this program, this corporate mentorship program, she has inspired confidence, purpose, and ambition in countless professionals across the region. Her influence, however, extends far beyond her company, Tropical Shipping. Mrs. Nugent-Hill serves as chairperson of the Ocean Coastal Observers of the Virgin Islands. She's an active member of the Women in International Shipping and Trade Association, WISTA, and she is a continued exciting member of the Women in Maritime Association Caribbean, which she served as member at large. She's also on the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce Executive Council, and the CARICOM Private Sector Organization's Business Council, and she also serves on the board of the American Caribbean Maritime Foundation, where she helps to fund scholarships for young scholars pursuing maritime studies, some of whom are right here today. And through each of these roles, she continues to build bridges of opportunity for others, especially women, and of that I can testify. Mrs. Nugent-Hill is a proud graduate of the University of the Virgin Islands, where she earned both her Bachelor of Science degree in Social Welfare Science and a Master's in Public Administration. She holds professional certificates in Business Continuity and Leadership. These are achievements that reflect her lifelong commitment to preparedness. Those are the two words I conflated, so let's go again. These achievements reflect her lifelong commitment to preparedness, resilience, and personal growth. Her expertise in disaster management has made her a respected voice across the region, yet it is her authenticity that makes her unforgettable. Jennifer Nugent-Hill is not just a person, she's a whole experience. She speaks from knowledge and conviction. She urges others to lead with empathy, to remain steadfast, even in uncertain times. Faith has always been her anchor. She's guided by her favorite verse, and you know this one: I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. She approaches each challenge with humility and determination. She believes that preparation builds resilience and that authentic leadership is not about recognition, it is about responsibility. Those who know her describe her as warm, thoughtful, and resolute. She listens before she speaks. She leads without seeking attention. She acts with conviction long after the applause fades. Through every role she has had, leader, mentor, mother, believer, woman, amazing woman, she has shown that excellence and empathy are not opposing forces, but powerful allies. She believes that one should not announce one's anointing, but one's anointing will announce one. Today, the Caribbean Maritime University honors a woman whose life's work has strengthened the region, has empowered its people, and inspired its future. Her journey embodies the values that this institution, or Caribbean Maritime University, upholds. Values such as courage, compassion, and service that is rooted in integrity. To this Talawa Jamaican woman, wherever she calls home, to this Jamaican woman, the Caribbean Maritime University, for all of the foregoing and more, which we cannot write here, proudly confers upon Miss Jennifer Nugent-Hill the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereunto. And this declaration is signed by Andrew Spencer, Professor, PhD, CD, lots of exciting things, but foremost, University President, Caribbean Maritime University.
Mr. Chairman.
By the authority vested in me by the Academic Board and the University Council of the Caribbean Maritime University, I now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa of the Caribbean Maritime University. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mrs. Nugent-Hill. And now, congratulations as well. Round of applause, please. And now we'll invite Mrs. Nugent-Hill to provide a response as well as to deliver the keynote address to the graduating class.
Oh my goodness, good morning. Wagwan, Jamaica. Protocol having been observed. However, I'd like to just take this moment to thank you, to the chairman, to you, Professor, to the entire faculty and staff and the council of the Caribbean Maritime University for this amazing honor on behalf of my family, the roots of Spanish Town, Jamaica, where the St. Catherine people them there. Boy. I thank you. This has been an amazing journey. More importantly, in the lives of all the amazing graduands that are here today who have not only been resilient, a word that's used over and over again, I am sure, you've heard it, but you are the powerful, global, Caribbean Maritime University, a Soistia. I know that you've been waiting since last year to receive your formal graduate diplomas, so I won't be very long. But I could not leave with you some thoughts of my 50 years from high school graduation that we just celebrated on the island of St. Croix, where I was raised in the U.S. Virgin Islands. But most importantly, when I left Jamaica as a 10-year-old girl, guided by my parents, my dad, who had an opportunity, recruited from Alpart or Alcan bauxite plant to travel to St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands to assist in the development and growth of a bauxite plant that was known as Harvey Aluminum. And my father today is going to be 98 years old. A strong man from St. Mary's, Islington, to be exact. What am they? And my amazing, beautiful mother, Alcia Johnson, who will be 93 years old in March. My dad cultivated an important trait that I'd like to share with you, that of self-awareness and the importance of humility, but the importance of never making yourself small to make anyone else think that you were less than them. I want to share with you a few thoughts about the importance of your legacy. The legacy where your portion today can be multiplied when you ask for a double portion. For those of you who are familiar with the words written in the Bibles in 2 Kings, I'm going to build my presentation on what legacy will you leave behind when you obtain your degrees today at this graduation exercise, which is really a commencement activity, meaning the beginning of the next journey of life. I've been trying since last year to bring a message that would encourage you, that would lift you up, that would remind you of from whence you came and whose you are, meaning to whom do you belong? In 1996, I had the privilege of speaking at the commencement exercise for the University of the Virgin Islands, my alma mater. And I was driven to build my presentation on that scripture that talked about Elijah and Elisha. And here I am in 2026 when it should have been 2025. So there's something about the year 6. So for such a time as this, you were required to do this if your footsteps that are ordered by God himself, because you needed to be reminded your resilient self and the legacy that you will leave for those following you with a double portion like Elisha was given. So a little bit of church. And Jamaica know how for prayer, right? I honor all the flags that were presented to us today because for my company, Tropical Shipping, for the last 30 years, I have watched the journey of this amazing little tiny ship company has become 64 years later who we are and serving so many islands of the Caribbean. I'd like to take this moment to thank my CEO and president, Mr. Tim Martin, who has not doubted one moment his commitment to Caribbean life and to the students that are graduating that need assistance, because he has always provided the resources necessary for students that are studying here at the Caribbean Maritime University through scholarships, students that are in the Bahamas, from the Bahamas, studying maritime industry, the students in Guyana at Malpal that we support through the ACMF, University of Trinidad and Tobago. And as we grow in this industry, our commitment as a company remains firm and solid with the guidance and support of our parent company, Saltchuk, who through the Saltchuk Regional Foundation Giving Program provides the scholarships and stipends for some of the students who are graduates right here who are on ships today. We made a commitment to support them financially while they're going through their sea time. It's been a joy for us. So let me just go very quickly to remind this powerful global set of graduands today that sometimes resiliency requires a double portion in order to thrive, not just survive. So I ask you this question: what will you do to stop tolerating negativity in your mind? Because you have already been destined. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. And it wasn't AI generated. None of you. Big up science and technology, yes. But you were crafted by the hands of the master for such a time as this. In order to become resilient or remain resilient, negativity cannot be tolerated and should not be tolerated in your mind. You see, negativity sometimes show up quietly, whispering in your ears. Man, you ain't all of that, you know. Who tell you so? You think you're big? And your answer should always be, back off my shoulders. And you could call him whatever you want, but it's not the right spirit. So tell the wrong spirit, step out of my head. Negativity is not for resilient people like this powerful and global graduates of the Caribbean Maritime University. Sometimes resiliency requires a double portion, and yes, I'm going to say it again. For those who practice emergency management will tell you that redundancy is necessary to be repeated, and redundancy is saying it over and over until it becomes part of yourself. One gal named Melissa, a storm named Melissa, decided that she was going to pay a visit. And trust me, I am not all that social media savvy, but boy, TikTok, them say something about Melissa, Lord, until they met the Jamaicans. When Melissa decided to test the will of the people of Jamaica, to respond through the most horrific storm, and to come back quickly, albeit many are still suffering. Some of you in this room, your parents are still struggling. Some of you are struggling. But let me remind you of something that Nelson Mandela said. When it always seems impossible, just wait a minute until it's done. You did it, and you're here today. Big up your friends and parents. But in every crisis, there comes an opportunity. And the question is, are you prepared when the opportunity comes as a result of the crisis? When I joined the maritime industry 31 years ago, it was as a result of a hurricane, this time one boy named Hurricane Hugo, that tore through the island of St. Croix. I was serving in a capacity that had nothing to do with shipping or the maritime industry. But that hurricane in 1989 became the first Category 5 storm that tore through the little island in the U.S. Virgin Islands known as St. Croix. For all the women in this room, I'm going to tell you a joke. Because don't be so serious. You've come this far, you waited this long, you're going to get your chance to big up yourself. So Hurricane Hugo came in the daytime. And the first experience for me with a direct hit was this hurricane. I had seen the storms. I had followed what Gilbert had done to Jamaica, all the rains that came through different storms. And I turned to my husband when the first part of the roof left. And we kept saying, boy, this don't feel good, you know. And he said, we'll be fine. Ladies, hear me good. I turned to him and I says, well, if it is what we think it is, we all may die. So begin to confess so we could get to heaven. But you go first. So ladies, I'm still married. So in the storms of life that you will experience, I want you to know that every disaster or crisis can be an opportunity. Because it was that storm that shifted my career path, and I joined Tropical Shipping at the time as their general manager. I knew absolutely nothing about the industry, but I knew one thing that I was sure of. I understood leadership quality, the experiences of serving people as the priority, and I accepted the job. Now for the guys, the gentlemen, you might appreciate this. During my interview process, in probably the second round, the vice president of, at the time, the financial service department, said to me, well, you know, in the business of logistics and transportation, the most profitable cargo is our reefers. So I turned to him, I said, your reefer? Boy, me can't do weed, man. Me can't do weed. That's illegal. Well, for those of us in this industry, forgive those who don't understand us and our language. Because in the containerized business, refrigerated cargo is generally the most expensive. So the word reefer was abbreviation for refrigerated cargo. He looked at me and he said, you are so naive about our industry. Well, here we are, 30-something years later. I understand it now. I share that story with you to tell you that there are folks who don't understand this industry, who don't yet appreciate until a storm comes the importance of logistics and transportation, who don't understand why you put what you put in the effort to be the professionals that you are. What the faculty and staff and the leadership provided you with was resiliency in action. Elijah ascended, and he was a great man. But his acolytes, his apprentice, Elisha, walked alongside, observing and learning, watching, praying, hoping, wishing. And his one desire was to have a double portion of that blessed gift that only God could have provided. So with respect, he said, how can I do what you do? And I am speaking it not as the way the King James Version or the New English Version, but just the story, the message. Elijah said to him, you will see me, and when I disappear, the cloak that he was wearing, the garment, the jacket, whatever it is that you wish to term it, fell. Elisha, according to the book of Kings, took that cape, put that cloak on, and did a double portion. With the double portion, did amazingly well for the work of God. That's you, the global, powerful graduates of the Caribbean Maritime University. So I say to you today that when you think of legacy and what you will leave behind, I want to encourage you to focus on three things. Model respect. In fashion, we say, wear the clothes and big up yourself. Model respect. I am sure what the professors, the instructors, the leadership here at the university provided you with, and your own classmates that you respected, model their respect. Secondly, stay centered. Stay centered. You have a desire at this commencement to begin the next phase as you graduate today. Stay centered, and especially when life challenged you. Remember, you got this. You did it. You're here. So I'd like you to turn to the person next to you and high five and say, you did it. We dey here, as we say here in the Virgin Islands. We dey ya in Jamaica. Congratulate your friends. And finally, know that you have been trained that you have seen the best, that you now know how to take the cloak and use the double portion of the gift to do more. This maritime industry is an amazing one. We all remembered COVID when the world shut down. There's a particular video when you get a chance. It's a BIMCO video on YouTube when the world shut down. It was still the seafarers, the mariners, the truck drivers, the documentation clerks, the technology generators. All of us were able to get us back to that place. So remember, as you begin this new journey, be intentional, stay focused, serve people, collect your mindset and protect your mental health. Find people of like mind who will encourage you, correct you, and still lift you up with kindness. Love yourself enough to know when to slow down. I have seen where chaos in this global space we live in, chaos and confusion. I serve a master who reminds me he's not the author of chaos or confusion. So I called it what it is. It's evil, and I'm going to pray against it, using a double portion of the Spirit of God. Right, Claudia Grant, my sister? Remember, you can do all things. Those who know this verse, I can do all things through who strengthens me. Your grandmother tell you so, the aunties in your life, your mother, your father, your cousin, the neighbor. Trust me, it is true. I've lived long enough. I will soon be stepping down from my work in this industry. I am so proud of what this industry has become in the Caribbean through programs, leadership, commitments. I thank Professor Spencer for acknowledging the work that the ACMF has done, but the generosity of the givers through the leadership of our president, Dr. Genevieve Brown Metzger, it's her fiery passion that has brought a whole lot of folks to the industry. And I am so honored every year to see some of you in Florida at our annual fundraising event, to watch you in the glorious of your whites representing your schools. So be guided by the truth. Be guided by the Spirit, the one Spirit that allows you to do three things. I could say 6, because 6 was the number, but I'll do 3. The Spirit will convict you unto what's right. Follow and listen. It will also reveal to you truths about decisions that you need to make and how you should make those decisions. The Spirit is also a transformation. That's real talk. So I say congratulations. God bless you. Elisha struck the waters of the river of Jordan, and he was able, like Elijah, to walk on dry ground. I say to you this: life doesn't have to be perfect. I tell myself this: life doesn't have to be perfect. I just have to live it. And you living it. And as I was getting ready for us to walk in through the procession, I felt compelled for some reason this morning, and I didn't know why, and then I understood why. And for that person who has had some difficult experiences, whether it's through Hurricane Melissa or as recent as this morning or yesterday, some of you are hurting for news that you didn't expect to hear. I didn't know I was going to say this. So I found a little thing that someone gave me, a book of encouragement, when I lost my first child at 2 years old from a virus that was spreading through, and she died on the day before my birthday, which was Christmas Day. And I found it this morning in a bag. I didn't think I thought I had cleaned it out. So hear this as I leave you. Difficult times don't last forever. Sometimes the problems you must face are more than you wish to cope with. And tomorrow doesn't seem to offer any solutions. The road we chose to follow are never free of bumps and curves, but eventually they lead to a smoother path ahead. Remember, difficult times don't last forever. So let us grieve, let us rejoice, let us celebrate. And today, this class of 2025, the powerful global CMU Graduands. I wish you well. Know that people may not always understand our language, but know they can't do without you in the space of maritime. Walk good, trust God, and respect your families. God bless you. I thank you. I am honored to be a CMU graduate today. Thank you to all my sisters that are in the room. I have two special gifts today. As a member of WEMAC, it's been my privilege to serve along some amazing women across the Caribbean and the maritime sector in our association. I'd like, with your permission, Professor, I'd like to ask one of my CMU student chapter member, Adelaide McLean, to please come up. My WEMAC student chapter member. I would like to present you with a personal gift. On behalf of all the WEMACs, sisters. And not to be outdone, we honor a young man because I believe we can't do a thing without good men. So let's train them, women. Dante Singh. It was just love notes from me. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nugent-Hill. So, you know, I think the president did it well at the beginning of the ceremony when he asked all of you to stand up, and he talked to you and just reminded you that this moment is not just because of the work that you do, but so much the work of your community, of your family, of your friends, that we must never forget that, you know? There's a lot that we have to contribute, and you're in the position to be able to do so because of the people in this room who have been supporting you night and day. Now, we have a feature that we usually do throughout graduation, and in order to keep it shorter this year, we're not going to be showing you all of the feature. But in this instance, we're going to be playing the feature called Our Story, and you can watch the rest on our YouTube and Instagram pages in the next couple of weeks. But we wanted to play it so you can recognize and you can pay tribute to some of the people who helped get you here today. So ladies and gentlemen, just before the presentation of graduates, please turn your attention to our screens to watch the Our Story feature, to be followed by the registrar and the presentation of the degrees.
My name is Corey Ramsey. I'm with the graduating class of 2025, studying the Masters of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management.
Hello everyone, my name is Lanita Barrett, a master's student in the program of Logistics and Supply Chain Management.
I want to say big up to God, big up to my family, big up to my friends, everyone who was with me throughout this journey.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you to God for bringing me through this journey. Then a big shout out to my mother, Nicole Plummer-Lee, to my grandma, Ellerine Henry, to my sister, Elizabeth Lee, and of course to my husband, Romario Finley. It is indeed a pleasure to be graduating this year.
Shout out to you guys who are the special ones. Big up the class of 2025 and thank you all for everything.
I just want to say congratulations to all you graduates and all the best in your future endeavors.
Hello everyone, my name is Romeo Somerville.
Hi, I'm Sardine Prince.
I completed my Master's in Security Studies.
I'm leaving here with a Master's in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. How do I feel about graduating this year? Super proud of myself and elated that I've made it to this final crossing.
I am happy that I completed this course in Security Studies because it has equipped me with the necessary knowledge that is required to safeguard myself and any organization that I work with, and also be an asset in Jamaica. Big up to all my classmates of the Master's program, as well as everyone of the class of 2025.
I'd like to say thank you to God first and foremost, and then to my parents and my friends. Many, many thanks. I am a part of the graduating class of 2025.
I'm personally very proud that I've made it to this stage where I'm now graduating. My name is Kamai Brett.
Hi guys, my name is Danny Campbell.
Hi, my name is Blake Nash from the Faculty of Marine and Nautical Studies, where I've now achieved a bachelor's degree in marine transportation.
I'm proud to say I'm graduating with first class honors with a degree of science in marine engineering.
I'm excited for my next chapter. I'd love to big up the class of 2025 and all of my classmates that endured this long process with me.
I really had to teach myself to persevere, and I'd really like to thank God, my family, and my colleagues, of course, for helping to support my journey to this world.
I would like to big up my grandma. She's been here with me, and my grandfather, even though he's not here anymore, and everybody that has been with me throughout this journey and who is going to continue with me in this life. Thank you.
President, the persons whose names will be called studied at the Caribbean Maritime University and having satisfied the requirements of the Caribbean Maritime University beg leave to be presented to you and the members of the University Council by the representatives of their faculties as Bachelor of Science or Bachelor of Engineering of the Caribbean Maritime University. Sir, the Dean, Faculty of Marine and Nautical Studies, Captain Devron Newman.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive as graduate members of our community these persons present who, having satisfied the requirements of the Caribbean Maritime University, have been awarded the degrees of Bachelor of Engineering in Marine Engineering and Bachelor of Science in Marine Transportation.
On behalf of the University Council of the Caribbean Maritime University, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called and those unable to attend as graduate members of our community.
Sir, for the award of the Bachelor of Engineering in Marine Engineering, I present Dwayne Helen Campbell, Tonian Dolanson, Kareem Williams. That's it, engineer. Sir, for the award of Bachelor of Science in Marine Transportation, I present Konisha Dejane Tonian Bell, Kamari Tyreek Brett, sorry. Let's see. Jade Alexia Levy. Blake Nash. Ajay Lalu. Darren Ruiz. And Dante Singh.
Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology, Dr. Kahuna Miller.
Sir, my colleagues and I have asked you to receive as graduate members of our community these persons present who have satisfied the requirements of the Caribbean Maritime University and have been awarded the degrees of Bachelors of Engineering in Industrial Automation, Bachelors of Engineering in Industrial Systems, Bachelors of Engineering in Mechatronics, Bachelors of Science in Artificial Intelligence and Computer Systems, and Bachelors of Science in Marine Biotechnology.
On behalf of the University Council of the Caribbean Maritime University, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called and those unable to attend as graduate members of our community.
Sir, for the award of Bachelor's of Engineering in Industrial Automation, I present Nicholas Dunn. For the award of Bachelor's of Engineering in Industrial Systems, I present Lorraine Anderson. Jermaine Brumfield. Joshua Brumfield. Amani Campbell. Daniel Chantelope. Siobhan Coleman. Richard Copeland. Travin Fredanki. Rajay Grant. Richard Holstead. Tashay Hansen. Kimani Carr. Sean Jackson. Matthew James. Anwar McClement. Ronaldo McLeod. Nathan McFarlane. Tamar Mackenzie. Akeem Patterson. Karina Phillipson. Dwayne Rankin. Shane Rowe. Andre Solomon. Thank you. Katrina Tenstead. Kellan Perry. For the award of Bachelors of Engineering in Mechatronics, we have Jesmo Bennett. Adrian Cunningham. Vaughn Davis. Kemar Farkidson. Ricardo Shields. Emil Shorter. Ricardo Wallen. Daniel Simmons. Nathan Swaby. Alea Campbell with first class honors. Rashid Willis. Oh, sorry, my word. Sorry, let's correct this one. Sorry, Rashid Willis. So, for the award of Bachelors of Science in Marine Biotechnology, we have, it was Rashid Willis. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Sir, the Dean of the Faculty of Shipping and Logistics, Professor Delroy Shevers.
Sir, my colleagues and I asked you to receive the graduate members of our community, those persons present who, having satisfied the requirement of the Caribbean Maritime University, have been awarded the degree of Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics, Bachelor of Science in Forensic Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Security Administration and Management, Bachelor of Science in Custom Processes, Freight Forwarding and Immigration, Bachelor of Science in Cruise Shipping and Marine Tourism, Bachelor of Science in International Shipping, Bachelor of Science in Port Management, and Bachelor of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management.
On behalf of the University Council of the Caribbean Maritime University, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called and those unable to attend as graduate members of our community.
Sir, for the award of Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity, I present Daniel Edwards. And these forensic science. Sir, for the award of Bachelor of Science in Forensic Sciences, I present Cleon Frankston. Neverone Ebert. Barry Joe Lawrence. Sir, for the award of the Bachelor of Security Administration. Sir, for the award of the Bachelor of Cyber Security and Digital Forensic, Kimani Levy. Krishmir Stevenson. Bianca Walcott. Janae McDonald. Sir, for the award of the Bachelor of Forensic Sciences, I present Jamaica Record. Andrew Aldir. All of these are name. Sir, for the Bachelor of Security Administration and Management, I present O'Dane Blagrove, Garfield Coley, Kean Dixon, Davion Ellis, Juanita Mitchell, Ranil Sinclair, Andre Smith.
Sir, for the Bachelor of Science in Customs Processes, Freight Forwarding, and Immigration, Latoya Anderson. Kylie Alwood. Torian Banton. Shahini Black. Brianna Brown. Deja Brown. Monique Cameron. Ornella Coke. Monifa Dawkins. Serena Cope. Abigail Dennis. Daniel Dennis. Tamika Ennis. Gillian Francis. Jade Bennett. Gavington Dowman. Trina Freckleton. Santiago Gordon. Makeda Fuller. Vanessa Green. Akintola Hayden. Zion Hay. Mishika Holgate. Oniki Hunter. Chanel James. Chanel Johnson. Nasima Knott. Altia Mara. Arlene Mitchell. Aliyah McIntosh. Chenyo Levine. Moisha Morrison. Melissa Mossington. Shanique Perry. Maya Nicole. Kevana Reed. Lincoln Richards. Shanika Ritchie. Brigale Robotham. Jardine Robinson. Tyreek Simpson. Michaela Skinner. Yemi Alikia Thompson. Melia Tolo. Samoya Walters. Tashay Walters. Nikela Smalling. Teresa White. Sherika Valentine. Lashana Watkin. Roger Whittle. Abigail Shaw. Devante Summon. Shanique Spencer. Gabrielle Miller. Amoya Street. Jean Chang. Seth Lee. Tawana Chambers. Maria Kerr. Duelia Taylor. Andriana Brown. Natania Tyrell. Bianca Westcott. Karif Tolo. Sir, for the award of Bachelor of Science in Cruise Shipping and Marine Tourism, Brittany Atkinson. Jodian Kennedy. Ajali McLean. Crystal Walters. Sir, for the award of Bachelor of Science in International Shipping, Raquel Douglas. I will now hand over to Head of Department for Logistics and Supply Chain Management, Dr. Diana Spencer.
Good afternoon. Sir, for the award of the Bachelor of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, I present Vivian Anderson. Andrew Allen. Shanice Bygrave. Chanel Barham. Sharon Clark. Nicholas Chong. Nathaniel Chambers. Alea Campbell. Rolando Clark. Mikhail Campbell. Owen Clark. Tyrone Crossfield. Andre Dixon. Veron Ellis. Bethany Edwards. Tonian Friginet. Nicole Francis. Nadija Francis. Sarah D. Francis. Michaela Francis. Joshua Gazader. Lasana Grant. Romario Green. Akeem Gale. Jonathan Goldburn. Imani Holmes. Sandra Harriot. Jarrell Hendricks. Jessica James. Hasina Lamont. Sebastian Granville. Rayvon Lang. Marcus Lambert. Raheem Linton. Raphaelia Mackenzie. Tanarj Minot. Nicholas McFarlane. Atara Nelson. Mishika Newman. Theresa Newell. Ronaldo Nelson. Trisan Palmer. Lashana Axton. Satashge Pinnock. Vanessa Plummer. Kenisha Ross. Jamil Ross. Jamil Rose. Antoinette Royal. Sagrina Roberts. Shoshana Roberts. Zane Ricketts. I will now be handing over to Dr. Patricia Miranda.
We continue with the Bachelor of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. Nastasia Robinson. Jada Simmons. Michaela Smith. Raheem Palmer. Tawana Scarlett. Dwayne Roper. Shantae Sturridge. Shanae Savage. Shanae Simpson. Simone Senior. Clifton Samuels. Crystal Sorty. Rashida Fidel. Abigail Taylor. Swain Malcolm. Rajane Thompson. Kylie Thompson. LaShawn Clark. Tajay Walker. Donnell Wilson. Daniel Wilson. Jadalee Watson. Tyrese Williams. Aaron Waysome. Javon Williams. Britannia Williams. Britannia Walker. Joanne Wright. Asia Wisdom. Romario White. Adrian Williams. Avanti Garth Montague. Jordan Wallace. Brianna Walker. Shimona Fagan. Sanika Brown. Danisha Affleck. Ariel Simon. Chelsea Coke. Javon Benjamin. Adlia Sims. Alaric Roden. Chanel Harris. Donald Elliott. Ajay Rochester. Nicolai Henningham. Jada Wint. Anika Powell. Danica Chambers. Tony Shea Delphine. Kevin Oliver. Thank you. Aaron Wilson. Swain Malcolm.
Just a bit of housekeeping. So we have a graduate from the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology who did not get the opportunity earlier to walk across the stage. So we're allowing that to take place. So the Dean, Dr. Kahuna Miller.
Sir, for the award of Bachelors of Engineering in Mechatronics, I present Kimberly Hamilton.
Sir, I call on Dr. Yvette Johnson, Director of Graduate Studies and Research, to present to you, members of our community, for the award of higher degrees.
Sir, I present to you these members of our community who, having satisfied the requirements of the Caribbean Maritime University, have been awarded master's degrees, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our community for the Master of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management and the Master of Science in Security Studies.
On behalf of the members of the University Council of the Caribbean Maritime University, I confer on these persons whose names are about to be called and those unable to attend master's degrees of the university and recognize their advancement in our community.
Sir, for the award of Master of Science in Logistics and Supply Chain Management, it is my pleasure to present Lanita Barrett. With absolute pleasure, Karen Crossdale. Clifford Davis. Andre Ferron. And Celia delays not denial. Celia Malcolm Slowly. With absolute pleasure, Sarah Dean Prince. Corey Ramsey. CMU Massive, I give you Chantel Waldron. For the award, Master of Science in Security Studies, with pleasure, Tommy Lee Chambers. Brian Henry. Take your cues from the JCF band. Tanisha Hilton McLean. Ralston McKenzie. Homer Morgan. Jason Robinson. One CMU, Romeo Somerville. Michelle Spence. Ramon O'Neill Thompson.
I recognize your advancement in our community.
Round of applause again for the class of 2025. It is now time for the presentation of awards to these graduates. And to begin by calling on the Director Registrar General of the Maritime Authority of Jamaica, Deputy Director, Mrs. Claudia Grant, as well as retired Rear Admiral Peter Brady, to present the inaugural Rear Admiral Peter Brady Award for the Most Outstanding Cadet. Okay. It's the second time around, not the first time.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed, I take the opportunity to greet the distinguished members of the platform party. And I'd like to acknowledge the chairman, Professor Gordon Shirley, the president of the CMU, Dr. Spencer, and also our guest speaker, distinguished sister and friend, Dr. Jennifer Nugent-Hill. Let's give her. I want to also greet the members of the Diplomatic Corps, esteemed guests, and I'd like to single out Rear Admiral Peter Brady, who's here on the platform with us, Ambassador Dwight Spencer Gardner, my colleagues of the Maritime Authority of Jamaica, friends, family, well-wishers, and the 2025 very vibrant graduands of the CMU. It is indeed my honor and pleasure to be here this afternoon to represent the Maritime Authority and our Director General, Bertrand Smith, who is away at this time, in this presentation. In 2024, the Maritime Authority of Jamaica established and launched the Rear Admiral Peter Brady Award for the most well-rounded cadet enrolled in the seafaring program at the Caribbean Maritime University. For those who may not be aware, this prestigious award is in honor of our first Director General of the Maritime Authority of Jamaica, who served in that capacity for over 2 decades, Rear Admiral Peter Brady. The criteria for the award included knowledge of the maritime industry and the contribution of Rear Admiral Peter Brady to the national and global maritime industry, academic achievements, including a grade point average between 3.10 and 4, and co-curricular involvement. We take this opportunity to commend the Caribbean Maritime University for its role in the holistic development of these candidates and its students in general, as well as all the candidates who, through application, discipline, and determination, have excelled. Over the past 2 years, the selection panel has reviewed strong and exceptional candidates who have consistently demonstrated leadership qualities, discipline, high academic achievement, and have been impressed by their eloquence and preparedness. As was the case in 2024, determining this year's awardee was no easy task. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to announce that the recipient of the Rear Admiral Peter Brady Award for the most well-rounded cadet for the 2025 is Mr. Ajay D. Lalu. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Lalu, and I invite him to join us.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Grant and Rear Admiral Peter Brady. Time now for our second award. And to present that award, I'm going to invite forward the Director General of the Antigua and Barbuda Department of Marine Services and Merchant Shipping, His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Dwight Gardner. This is for the award for the most outstanding marine transportation cadet. Use this one. Here, please.
It's a great pleasure to be here today, and particular to present this prize. I'm well known to Dr. Dwight Gardner, Ambassador, and I also am well known to his organization, having worked with them for some time as an IMO consultant. This is an exceptional award for an exceptional person who has contributed so much to shipping and maritime administration in the region. He has been an outstanding person internationally at the IMO. The award is for the most outstanding marine transportation cadet. And that award, from my instructions, is to be given to a person who is well known to us. And he seemed to have been going to be the recipient of a trilogy of awards. That is Mr. A.J. Darian Lalu. It seems, Mr. Lalu, that you are not only called, but you appear to be chosen as a very outstanding student. I should say that the award is endowed by the ADAMS, which is the Antigua and Maritime Authority, and is a recognition to Mr. Lulu not only of his current achievements, but also an investment in his future. And of course, for all graduates, what you have done is an investment on not only what you have done, but your future, a very bright future, I'm sure. Now, significantly, the Antigua Maritime Authority first partnered with CMU in 2014, and its then goal and its extended goal is to foster a partnership with CMU, a long-term partnership. And this also will continue for a number of years. CMU recognizes that it has partnerships within the Caribbean, and one of its most active partners is the Antigua and Maritime Authority. Now, for Mr. Lulu, I should mention that the prize and the accompanying bursary is to ensure whoever receives that prize has to have a keen mind and a steadfast character. So both are coupled in this award, and that they're entering a field which is the lifeblood of global trade. And it's important that they carry the excellence that they have shown today in their academic achievement into the real life at every port, every boardroom, every vessel, and every activity that they do. They should continue to carry the flag of CMU and of the institution of which they should be very proud. The seas, shipping, does not reward the unprepared, but they offer boundless opportunities for those who lead and act with excellence. I would like to congratulate Mr. Liu, but I would also like to say this is my second time here. I would like to congratulate Adams on this, and I would like to congratulate the enthusiasm that everyone has participated in this very outstanding event. And I thank you very much for this, and I congratulate Mr. Liu again, and also the Antiguan Authority, which will continue steadfastly to seek the continuous efforts and excellence of CMU, its long-term partner. Thank you.
Thank you. Doctor?
Thank you very much. And as just before we move on, I'd like to welcome the Superintendent of Pilotage, Hortense Honorary Ross Honorary, I'm sorry. It's been ardent support of the Caribbean Maritime University. We call on her a lot in the department, my particular department, but I know we call on her a lot throughout the university. And we just like to let her know that we see her and we appreciate her. It is time now for the Dean's Top Awards, and we begin with the award from the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology. To present that award, I'll invite forward the Dean, Dr. Kahuna Miller. It's a bit of housekeeping here. Let's add this out. The Dean. call Dr. Miller to present the award. Dr. Miller, to the center, please. And that award is going to Miss Alia Campbell. And for the Dean's Award for the Faculty of Shipping and Logistics, I call on Dean Professor Delroy Chevers to present the award to Miss Danielle Edwards. And now for the Dean's Award for the Faculty of Marine and Nautical Studies, I call on the Dean, Captain Deborah Newman, to present the award to Mr. A.J. Lalou. Ajay Lalo. And our final award is for the School of Graduate Studies and Research for the most outstanding graduate research. I invite forward the director, Dr. Yvette Smith Johnson, to present the award. To Mrs. Tanisha Hilton McNeil. Thank you, and congratulations to the awardees. Round of applause again for them. And just before we hear from the graduating class in the form of the valedictorian, we're going to be calling on the CMU Creative Arts Department, who are members of the graduating class. They will be making a special cultural presentation. Please make them welcome.
See? check, testing 1, 2.
1, 2, check. Check. Mic check.
When you're winning, it's a sweet story. But when you're not, then the war is bitter. You're quick to call me a sinner. Only judge I know my history. So we have to give the thing glory. Like a tree planted by the river, I smile with the sun. Can't keep it down, cause we have to overcome. Legend, legend, legend. Let me hear you say legend. Legend, I am a legend.
Story of my life, ordinary person just like you. If you take a look inside, you see the great things that people do. Changing last day and night, but nothing I do ever breaks the news. Still I have to do what's right to the King of all kings, all praises due.
Yesterday I was on a train. A little boy asked me my name. He said, sir, I've seen you before. Tell me, who are you? I said, I am a legend that you never heard of before. I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. Yeah, I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, what was that? Rise like the sunrise, my bright and me upright. No one can broke me vibes. And me no care who want fight and who want criticize. I'm on a higher height.
Another day comes, some good, some bad, let it all flow. Some people love you, some people fear you, cause they can't see the greatness in you.
It's mine. I want to, it's my time, and I'll do it any way I want to, and it's mine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
my day, my time, my life.
Legend, legend, legend.
Them nights under pressure got a lot on my mind. What would life be without all these struggles of mine? Can't sleep, so we sing trees for peace of mind. Can't sleep, but the sweet dreams to ease my mind. I say, what success without a little sacrifice? With every downfall, yes, you have to have a right. Here in the world, lose your soul. Me now go pay the price. Happy give thanks to life. God is so bless my eyes. Let me hold my chest when we see it. Until no hell call me destined for greatness. Cause Christ is my guide. No matter how hardship arise, we still got a friend by my side. My look grim, look dark, look hopeless. We still see the goal coming down, lose focus.
We might fall and burn,
but we have to survive. Said you are a legend that you never heard of before. You are a lion, but they never heard you roar. You're a what? Let me hear that. You are a hero that nobody celebrates. Yeah. But if one person remembers your name, yeah. And if one person remembers your name, yeah. And if one person remembers your name, yeah. That means you made a change. legend. I am a legend. Let me hear you say, legend, legend. I can't hear you graduating class. Legend, legend. I am a legend. Legend, legend. I am a legend. You are legend, legend. You are a legend. 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 Legend, legend. You are a legend.
I now call on the class valedictorian, Miss Alea Campbell, from the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology, to deliver the valedictory address.
Professor the Honorable Gordon Shirley, Chairman, University Council, Professor Andrew Spencer, President of the Caribbean Maritime University, distinguished faculty, honored guests, fellow graduates, family and friends, good afternoon. Before we set sail, let me take you to a place that defines every ship's journey, the dry dock. A dry dock is where ships are lifted out of the water, not because they're finished, but because they're being renewed. It's where hulls are inspected, engines are repaired, and navigation systems recalibrated. It's where a vessel pauses, not to stop sailing, but to prepare for greater voyages ahead. Now, imagine a ship resting there, scarred by past storms but not defeated. Around it, builders work tirelessly. At last, the gates open, the water rushes in, and the ship rises again, ready for its next voyage with renewed strength and confidence. That ship is us, the graduating class of 2025. And this great institution, the Caribbean Maritime University, has been our dry dock. We came here as vessels of potential, some tested by early voyages, some unsure if we'd stayed afloat, but here we were repaired, refitted, redefined, and reinforced to take on the tides of the world. When we first arrived, we had no idea how deep the sea of growth would be. Every lecture strengthened our hull, every assignment recalibrated our compass, and every exam tested whether or not we were truly watertight. CMU didn't just educate us, it transformed us, redefining maritime excellence through education, research, and innovation, and shaping not only skilled professionals, but people bold enough to navigate the open sea. Our journey was not without rough seas, late nights, heavy deadlines, and the tension of exam rooms. And we all remember that moment when the invigilator in the exam would calmly say, pens down, just as our best ideas were still forming. But if only we had one more minute. Group work brought its own waves. Sometimes one person was steering, another was rowing, and someone else just checking the compass. And as one of our engineering lecturers would love to say, group work is just an illusion, as oftentimes you had to do the work alone. But through that illusion, we learned leadership, accountability, and what it truly means to carry others when the tide is against us. Unlike those before us, our void started online. Our first classrooms were Zoom screens. Our first labs were imaginations. And our first test was not of knowledge, but of patience. The Wi-Fi became our greatest adversary. 1 minute you're answering a question, the next, frozen, gone. For once, the silence in the class wasn't from unprepared students, but from poor connection. Yet, when campus reopened, we adapted again. We went from screens to lecture rooms, from muted mics to shared laughter, from isolation to community. Like the maritime industry itself, we adapted, rebuilt, and continued forward. But what is a ship without life on its decks? At CMU, our decks were alive with sports, clubs, and events that gave us balance and joy. Those who lived at the Admiralty House in Port Royal know that dorm life had its own weather patterns. The journey to campus felt like a sea voyage and tested your endurance as much as any exam. Our custom students, they too had their own voyage. Early mornings, long commutes to the Port Royal campus, sometimes wondering if you'll need a passport to get to class. Yet, no matter the distance, you proved that dedication always finds its destination. Together, these experiences didn't just shape us as students, they shaped us as a fleet, learning how to work, lead, and move forward as one. And as that unified fleet, oh, what a fleet we are. Each faculty represents a different class of ship, built for a unique purpose, but all vital to the maritime world. The Faculty of Shipping and Logistics, you are the mighty container ships and ro-ro vessels. You carry the cargo of global trade, ensuring that the world is connected. Just as you studied supply chains and logistic routes, you mirror the ships that chart courses across oceans, delivering the lifeblood of economies. The Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology, you are the LNG and the LPG carriers, marvels of precision and power. You embody the engineering genius that keeps machinery running, engines turning, and energy flowing. Without you, propulsion halts, lights go dark, and progress stalls. And then there were the cadets, representing the Faculty of Marine and Nautical Studies, the embodiment of discipline and structure. While most of us were still negotiating with our alarms, they were already in formation, uniforms crisp, and spirits high. On sports day, they didn't always win every race, but they were in every race. They may not have claimed every battle, but they always won the war. Like a fleet that holds formation through waters, They showed us that discipline beats speed every time. As the cruise ships and naval vessels of our fleet, they guided with leadership, safety, and stewardship, reminding us that a vessel without a competent crew is nothing but a drifting hull. Different in design, but united in purpose. Together, we embody CMU's vision, not to just graduate, but to be industry-ready leaders who can navigate the maritime economy and beyond. No vessel, however advanced though, is built alone. Every ship in the dry dock depends on a skilled crew to prepare it for its launch. Our professors and lecturers, the master shipbuilders, shaping our minds and strengthening our foundation. Our families and friends, they were the dock workers, lifting us when we felt weighed down. Our administrative staff kept the shipyard running smoothly. Our ancillary team kept it in order. And our security staff stood watch like guiding lights through the fog. Together, they formed the crew that kept CMU's dry dock alive and thriving. They didn't just maintain the yard, they maintained us. And for that, we owe them more than gratitude. We owe them every part of our success that we'll carry when the dry docks open and when we set sail into the wider world. And while we were being strengthened and refitted here in the dry dock, our president, Professor Andrew Spencer, was strengthening the dockyard itself by expanding CMU's reach and securing partnerships so that when our gates finally open, opportunity will already be waiting beyond them. Each MOU has been like adding stronger cranes, deeper berths, and better fueling lines to the shipyard. A powerful example is the partnership with the German ship repair Jamaica, which has created real hands-on experience for students in marine engineering and ship repair, alongside other strategic links that form part of CMU's refit for the future. These MOUs remind us that just as ships depend on ports, we too depend on a strong relationship that sustain, propel, and anchor us when the tides change. Or as any yardman would say, we have to have links. Now the gates of the dry dock are opening, the water is rising, and it's time for us to launch, not as uncertain vessels, but as seaworthy mariners ready for the open sea. Ahead of us lie new routes, unpredictable winds, and uncharted territories. There will be storms that test our design and moments of calm that test our drive. But as Nelson Mandela once said, I never lose, I either win or learn. And when those storms come, remember, a ship's strength is not proven in calm waters, but in how it handles the storm. So today, graduates, as we stand at the edge of new horizons, let us sound our horns, not in farewell, but in declaration that we are seaworthy, we are ready. And I want you all to take that charge and repeat after me, graduates. We are seaworthy. We are seaworthy. We are ready. We are ready. May our wakes leave behind legacies, and may our compasses always point true. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations as well. Miss Alia Campbell. We're almost at the end of the ceremony. At this point, I'm going to invite you to stand with us for the playing of the University Anthem. Professor the Honorable Gordon Shirley will now officially announce the closing of the ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me just a moment to depart from script. A beautiful ceremony like this, capped off by that wonderful valedictorian speech, doesn't happen by chance. It takes an enormous amount of preparation, and I would like to single out the registrar and her team, the director of communications and his team, the deans, the faculty members, and of course, the great president of the CMU, for the very hard work that went into this ceremony. It was a beautiful ceremony. And now the words you've all wanted to hear. This brings to a close by which the Caribbean Maritime University has signaled the conferment of honorary degrees and the award of master's and bachelor's degrees to its graduates. The company will now disperse, but not before permitting the special guests and the procession to leave. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Please remain seated while the platform party and the specially invited guests leave. Graduates, we're asking you in particular to hang on. We have a special surprise again. No, the company may disperse. graduates, I think you can stand at this point. You can take out your cell phones, and I have a couple of instructions for you. And a very bossy, the lady who's been leading you all morning, has me on the manners that I help you to get this correct. So first of all, undergraduates, please move your tassels from the right to the left side of your caps. And if you're a master's student, you should have your tassels on the left side of your hat. And this movement from right to left signifies the turning of the tassel, that's what it's called, marking the completion of an academic journey and officially becoming a graduate. Yeah, applaud. Congratulations, you did it. You did it. So tassels on the right, and I'm going to count down for your surprise. I'm going to say, telling the crew, 3, 2, 1, fire away. 3, sorry, let me do that with you. Together. 3, 2, 1, fire away. Congratulations, congratulations everyone. Have the wonderful, my name is Archibald Gordon. It has been my pleasure to be your moderator today. Have a wonderful afternoon. Just a bit of housekeeping. If you have lost
That me does say,